Well, I've said it before, folks, the best female entertainer in Australia, let's say it, in the world. I love her to death, and she joins me now, Beccy Cole. Thanks for joining us here on Sunshine FM, Beccy.
Oh, if you talk about me like that, I'll join you anytime.
Congratulations on the new album, and particularly the new single. What a film clip.
Oh, thank you very much. It was so much fun to make. I spent the whole day with a huge smile on my face and a lump in my throat. It was great.
Did you have any choice in selection in the kids, the roles played? I thought they wrapped Mick Allbeck up just perfectly, hey?
Oh, absolutely perfectly. And by chance, that little fella, Jack, is actually Jack Toombs, his dad, Duncan, who is also my guitar player, was the producer of the film clip. So, but you're absolutely right. He's a dead ringer for him, especially with the curly wig on.
It must have just been wonderful to have a look at those kids and just, we'd all love to have 2020 hindsight and see what's happened in the past, but just to see those kids and the progression and the little stories that they're telling along the way. And folks, if you haven't seen the film clip, you have to do it so you can relate what Beccy's talking about.
Oh, look, absolutely. And it is, it's a wonderful glimpse, and hindsight's a great way of, I guess, describing it, because it's an opportunity for me to go just as if I was that little girl, and just basically giving her some advice and saying everything's going to be all right, but it's going to be one heck of a ride.
The thing that really took me about the song, hearing it, and then it put it in a new perspective of watching the film clip, is just that sometimes when there's a heart-wrenching song or a song that's telling a story, it doesn't have that bounce to it. But the song really has encapsulated a great melody, for the want of a better term, along the way.
Yeah, well, thank you for saying that. It was really important to me when I had that moment of coming across the photo and wanting to write the song. I didn't want it to be too morbid, because it is a bit of a sad kind of, heart-stopping for a second moment that I was in when I thought of it. And I thought, I want to keep this up, and I want to keep the vibe about it up, because, we can't go back. No, none of us can, but we can kind of have a tongue-in-cheek and keep it up vibe. And that was the treatment of the song.
Now, I know you're a passionate, folks. We're talking to Beccy Cole. I know you're passionate about country music, but gee, it's nice to get such a great response in mainstream, on the mainstream charts too, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's not something that I set out to do. When it happens, it's completely unplanned, but completely heartwarming and welcomed and all of that kind of stuff. It's great. I've always been a country music singer. I've never denied that. When there's interest outside country music, it's a real shot in the arm.
Now, I mentioned earlier before, folks, that Tracy's not with us again tonight, but hopefully back on deck next week. But one of the things she always brings up is just how good the Songbirds were. And getting a flash on the album of that, getting a bit of a sample of Gina and Sarah and Beccy all back together. How did that one come about, Beccy?
Well, it was completely my fault. I really miss the girls sometimes, and it was such a great time. They were such precious times, which is the name of the song. And I really wanted to. At the time, I always thought we should write a song. We should all sing a song that we did a lot of covers, and we did a lot of great harmonies, and we did each other's songs, and we did our own songs, but we never wrote a song that was uniquely ours. So that's what I did. I thought, no, it's never too late to go back and fix it. So I got the girls back in the studio, and we did this song, and it's just such a great time in my life, and it's good to market this way. And I got the idea for the song after I wrote that particular chapter in my book when I was writing my memoir, and I'm just thrilled with it. The girls sound so beautiful.
I have to confess, I was blown away when I read a bit to say that this is the first time that you've had input into writing every song on one of your albums. Is that right?
Yeah, look, it is. I've always kind of, I suppose it's a lack of faith, I suppose, in my songwriting abilities in the past, and it's taken me a long time to consider myself a songwriter as well as an entertainer and everything else that I do. And so I set myself a goal to write every song on this record, and to prove to myself more than anyone else that I was a songwriter, and I'm pleased with the results. What's
in the bucket list for Beccy Cole that the listener needs to know about? What's some of the things you'd like to still achieve?
Well, the big one that is going to take a long time is longevity. I want to still be here. I look at artists that I love, people like Dolly Parton, for example, in America, and some of these great Bette Midler, and these women are in their 60s and they're still entertaining so many people, and people still love them. And I think sometimes there's a bit of a stigma attached to getting old in Australia, and I want to break that tradition. I want to be up there at 60 and everyone go, we still want to go and see Beccy, you know. And so I've got another 20 years, but to get to that point. But that's my aim, to change any ageist attitude that we have, especially towards women in this country, and because I think it's a big issue, and I think that women can go on entertaining until, in their 80s, 90s. I mean, my grandmother is absolutely one of the funniest people I know, and I love hanging out with her. She's 96 years old, so I'll be like her, I reckon.
That'll be something there. I hope that I'm, in 20 years, still going along and seeing Beccy Cole concerts and seeing you up there singing, because I just love it. I love the show and what goes with it. The longevity is so important, but it's also about keeping the voice active too, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's like exercising any muscle. You just got to keep doing it. And fortunately, I'm never off the road, so my voice gets a lot of... But I do notice if I do have, say, a week or two off, I do notice that it's harder for me to pull the singing voice out. So, yeah, it is something, you've got to keep using it or you'll lose it, as they say.
A little note for young Rebecca to be telling Beccy to keep practicing, hey?
That's right. That's so true.
Now, the album is called Sweet Rebecca. It's out and about now. This is the second single off the album, Sweet Rebecca, and we'll be giving it a spin shortly. But if you're looking to see Beccy Cole, she's going to be in Brisbane the end of this month at the Black Bear Lodge at Brisbane, just down the road. Up at Bundaberg, if you're in Queensland's Brothers Sports Club, Maryborough, the Sports Club in Maryborough, and then a little further north in Rockhampton in August. But don't despair, people on the sunny coast and in and around. In September the 10th, Redcliffe Cultural Centre at Redcliffe, September 11th up at Toowoomba, QUT Gardens Theatre in Brisbane, and just down the road here at the Events Centre at Caloundra on September 13. So make sure you get your tickets booked to catch up with Beccy Cole right here on the sunny coast. So we're really looking forward to that. Anything else we need to know for Beccy Cole for this year? For the remainder of 2015, what's some of the things that we can look forward to?
Oh, look, absolutely. More touring and all of those shows that you mentioned. Eventually I will slow down enough to start writing some more songs for the next project, but in the meantime, I'm not going to stop. So look out. I'll still be on the road.
Be looking out indeed. Beccy, it's been fantastic to catch up with you tonight. We know your time is very valuable, and it's great that you're able to share some of it with our listeners tonight.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
And here is the new single off the album of the same name, Sweet Rebecca.